So, we're going to look at the power of open ended questions in education. And you don't have to be in education to use open ended questions. You could be a parent, you could be a teacher, but you could also just be someone who's interested in promoting learning and development. But questions really need to be used than more just tools for assessment. They're gateways to deeper understanding. They have critical thinking capabilities, and they also promote creativity. So, among the various types of questions that people can use, open ended questions stand out for an ability to transform the teaching and the learning experience. So, closed questions or closed ended questions, they have a single correct answer. For instance, a great one would be, is that color blue? Yes or no? It doesn't leave a lot of opportunity for you to discuss it. Open ended questions invite a range of responses. They encourage individuals to think critically, express themselves fully, and engage in meaningful dialogue. So let's look at some benefits of using open ended questions. Let's look at critical thinking. So, first of all, it does encourage critical thinking. One of the primary benefits of open ended questions is the capacity to promote that critical thinking. When people are asked to explore a concept or a problem without the constraints of a predefined answer, it means they have to analyze data and information. They need to evaluate different perspectives, and they must synthesize their understanding to formulate a response. So, this helps them to develop higher order thinking skills such as analysis, evaluation. They are critical. These are critical. I cannot emphasize it enough for success in today's very complex and rapidly changing world. So, let's look at an example. Rather than asking students what is the capital of France, which is a close ended question, right? You might want to say, how might the geography of France influence its cultural and economical development? That question is going to require students to really look at many different factors. They're going to look at their knowledge of geography, culture, and economics, and then they're going to have to present a well reasoned argument so that they can demonstrate their understanding and also develop a ability to think critically and independently. We also want to look at how we can foster creativity and innovation. So, open ended questions play a vital role in fostering this. When people are given the freedom to explore different possibilities and express their ideas, they're more likely to take risks and think outside of the box. Creative thinking is essential for innovation. This is so important for us to move forward as a culture and as a people. It allows us to approach problems from new angles and to develop original solutions. Let's look at an example. Let's try a science class. Instead of asking, what is the function of photosynthesis? Because that has a very definite and specific answer. You might want to ask, how would life on Earth be different if photosynthesis didn't exist? Think about all the different scenarios and how people can now draw on scientific knowledge and even think creatively and looking at the implications of such a change when you use that open ended question. That question leads to a richer learning experience that's going to encourage curiosity and also is going to really nurture that creative process. The additional piece and the other part of it is it's going to really enhance a student engagement and the ownership of learning. When students are asked questions that invite personal reflective and they're going to interpret or they're going to actually develop their opinion, they're going to feel more invested in that learning process. So these types of questions empower students. They empower them to take control of their learning. They're not just this passive little recipient of information, but they actively get involved. So let's look at an example. Let's look at a literature class. Instead of asking, what is the theme of the story? That's going to give you a predetermined answer. It's going to give you a pat answer that everybody thinks about, right? Instead, you might want to say, how do you relate to the character's struggle in the story? Now you've got a question that's going to have the individual or a student really draw upon connections between the text and their own experience. Don't you love that application part? This is going to lead to more personalized and meaningful learning experiences. So as the student articulates their thoughts and feelings, they're going to get a deeper understanding and they're going to have a sense of ownership over their learning. We also want to look at how open ended questions really support different learners and diverse learners. They're valuable. It's going to help us to really connect with individuals from different backgrounds. It's going to look at varying knowledges of prior knowledge and possesses of those unique strengths and challenges. So, open ended questions allow students to really engage with the material at their own level and provide opportunities for differentiated instruction. So, let's look at math. Instead of saying, can you find different ways to solve this problem? Maybe, and you could really ask that question instead of saying, what's the correct answer, right? So instead of saying 2 plus 2, you can say, what's another way of finding the answer for 2 plus 2? And let the students figure out how they could do it and what they can do. So we want to create an open ended approach so that way the students can contribute ideas, explore different strategies, and learn from one another. It also gives students insights into the thought process. And as an educator, wouldn't you love to have a better understanding of how they're thinking and coming upon their answers? So, this is going to enable them to provide targeted support and challenges when needed. So, we really want to look at how it can promote lifelong learning. It is incredible what open ended questions do. It cultivates a mindset of inquiry and curiosity that's essential for lifelong learning. So, in a world where information is constantly evolving, the ability to ask good questions and seek out answers is more important than ever. So, we want to engage each other with open ended questions so that we can help others to develop habits of mind that are necessary for this continuous growth and learning that are essential for our world. So, we want to also just remember as we close that open ended questions are powerful. They're a powerful tool in teaching and learning. They promote critical thinking, foster creativity, enhance engagement, support diverse learners, and even cultivate a mindset of inquiry. By integrating open ended questions into our practice and even into our daily conversations, we can create a dynamic and inclusive learning environment that really prepares students for challenges and opportunities that are coming in the future.